So not too long ago, I forcefully made Vivek's Tales play Little Nightmares 3, and he clearly loved it so much, I made him play the next best thing, Reanimal. I wish I could say that, but I didn't. This time, I decided to play with someone who wasn't a scaredy cat, and that can actually handle these type of games. But that person won't be doing this review with me, so I'm going to solo this one. So without Vivek's Tales, I'm Katapillar, and let's get into this backlog worthy of Reanimal. Now, this game is actually created by the same developers who created the original Little Nightmares 1 and 2 games. And I was pretty excited to find out that they were making a new game. Even though it wasn't Little Nightmares 3, I personally think this is what Little Nightmares 3 should have been. There are 5 characters, but you and your friend can only play 2 of these characters, and only those 2. I don't want to compare this game too much to Little Nightmares, but I did enjoy that it had the same creepy aspect as those games and almost the same mechanics as them. You get thrown into the game without a clear understanding of what you're doing or where you're going. It also includes puzzles that you have to figure out yourself and do a lot of exploring to find the things that are needed. My partner and I did struggle for a good 15 minutes trying to go through one area because we didn't think about looking around and thought anytime we'd go anywhere, we'd probably go to the next part and just miss out on some important things. This game does have a little combat, but only in small things like animals or some bad kids. It also has 2 main boss fights, which are actually very enjoyable, especially the final fight. One thing I did enjoy was the lack of having to sneak around. You can easily run into a lot of the places without having to crouch and wait for them to disappear. There are some times where you would have to fight your way to get through certain places, especially through the first world. Collectibles are in this game as well, them being posters on the wall, and as you collect them, you unlock concept art from the game, which is nice to be able to see them without a paywall blocking them for everyone to at least enjoy. The next collectibles are hats. That's right, you can customize, slightly, your character. When playing and exploring, sometimes you'll come across items that can be worn as a hat, replacing the original. You're able to change them anytime while you're playing, and they also appear during the cutscenes, which are pretty funny. There is a time where we found out that they can help you on a second chance moment. Towards the end, there is a sniper after you, and if they shoot you, sometimes it'll act like a protective helmet. Well, we only tried it with the hats we found during that part of the world, and not any of the other hats, so don't trust me on that statement completely. The final collectible is pretty important on how the ending will be played out. Yes, this game actually has 2 endings. These collectibles are wooden coffins or boxes, and once opening them, you'll see a black silhouette of one of the 5 characters and a quick snippet of a death. Well, their death, I guess. If you find all the coffins in a single run, you will receive an ending that'll be just a tad different from the ending if you don't find them. I didn't know this till after my playthrough and was looking up on other people playing this game, and noticed there was a different ending than mine. Weird. So I looked up exactly what it was, and that's what it was. I would probably assume finding all the coffins is the candy ending, but like I've mentioned before, they're about the same endings, just a little bit different from each other. You do have to find all of them in a single run. You can't finish the game and then go back to a chapter, find the coffin, then leave, switch to another chapter, find it, then play the final to unlock it. The only way that counts is unless you are looking for concept arts or hats, which is understandable as this determines how things will differ from your ending, and it's nice to go back and look around and actually explore. The story of this game is a bit confusing, so bear with me as I theorize this playthrough. The game starts off in a boat as a child with a sack over his head awakes on it and starts sailing to God knows where. As he starts traveling, he comes across a girl in the water. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is his sister, so I'll just go along with them. She wears a white dress and a bunny mask. He helps her into the boat, and as she is awakened, her fight or flight kicks in and starts attacking him. Realizing she knows him, she stops. Now, this actually caught me off guard, but they speak! I wasn't expecting it because the Little Nightmares games, they don't speak, but this isn't Little Nightmares, so they speak. The boy tells her He doesn't know where the others are, so they keep sailing to start the search for the others. They travel the waters a bit till they reach the shore with a huge building. On the shore are a bunch of suitcases, and upon opening them, you find a key that'll help you enter the building. While looking around, they come across their first friend wearing a hood, and you're never going to believe this, but their name is Hood. Hood tells them that they should leave, that this place is dangerous, but of course, they don't listen. Typical kids. They keep moving forward and eventually see a glimpse of our first big meanie, who looks very tall. Instead of turning back, they follow this guy into a bathroom. When they enter the bathroom, they see the last glimpse of him crawling into a body and just disappearing. They now want to fix a wagon that is outside to get through the tracks to keep moving forward. So, they enter a warehouse to look for a spare wheel, and inside the warehouse are deflated bodies. Once they grab the wheel, the bodies come to life and start sliding around to catch the kids. When they escape, they put the wheel and get going. They reach a dead end and have to travel on foot again through some train carts. They slightly spot Hood and follow them into the train carts, but don't see them as soon as they get in it. They hear the tall man from before coming inside and hiding under some seats. As the tall man enters, he starts sniffing around as if he can smell them. A suitcase starts moving, and right as he's about to open it, Hood jumps out and makes a run for it. The siblings take that chance to make it to another train cart to start it to escape, but as soon as it starts, it quickly stops, as the sniffer breaks through the window and chases them down the cart. Hood helps them out and guides them to where they need to go through the forest. They hear a tune from an ice cream truck and they start running as it is the sniffer driving the truck. Hood trips and gets caught by the sniffer. It's kind of weird that a tall, creepy man in an ice cream truck is stealing kids. But okay. The siblings now want to save their friend, following the ice cream truck into an abandoned town and see Sniffer and Hood walking into a cinema. They follow him there and go through the back area, what I assume is the Sniffer's base of operations. He's ironing those bodies that we got chased by earlier in the warehouse. They finally find Hood and save them. The ice cream truck is still out there, but it is out of gas. They find some and start the truck again to drive off. The Sniffer catches up to them and starts attacking the kids in the truck. Eventually, they manage to shake him off and make it back to the shore where they left the boat. The three kids now set off to find their next friend. Throughout the game, you will be seeing a glimpse of a lamb that sounds like he's in crazy pain. As they sail off, they make it to a town that is flooded and filled with naval mines. They find a destroyed building, and inside they find a person that is no longer alive, but has a few spears on their lap. The kids take them and use them to destroy the mines in the way. They enter an abandoned hotel where it is overrun by some human-like creatures that are bloated, and if they catch you, they explode, just like the mines. The kids use the spears to kill them before they reach their boat. As they get closer to the exit of the hotel, they spot another one of their friends whose face is covered in bandages, and you'll never guess the name. Bandage. Very creative. As the kids all wave to each other, Bandage gets snatched up by a huge pelican. Sorry, it's so funny. It's such a random enemy, but it's so funny. They follow it to a lighthouse, but before they can get there, they have to climb a tall cliffside and make it to a field where they find a barn. Inside are huge pigs, and even I'm still laughing at the pelican. I'm so sorry. Inside are huge pigs, and in the very back is an even bigger pig. The pigs mean no harm, so they squeeze through and make their way to the lighthouse. They free Bandage and start getting chased by the pelican along with a bunch of seagulls. Like, playing it didn't seem funny, but writing it and then reading it out loud, it just sounds so funny. It's funny if you're reading it and you've never seen gameplay, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. We make it to the barn where the pelican breaks in, scaring the pigs, and most pigs run off, causing a fire. I still don't even know how that even started, honestly. Where'd the fire come from? The kids shut the door and lock the pelican inside along with several pigs, burning it alive. The kids run off to a bus stop, and the girl with the bunny mask starts having tummy issues, causing a disturbance around the others. The other kids back away as we get a glimpse of the lamb once again. The bus arrives and they all enter it, and it takes them to an orphanage. And Hood recalls the place and refuses to go inside, so Bandage decides to stay behind with Hood as the other two enter, finding their final friend. When they enter, they find it full of kids, but they are all fully white and very hostile. They look around the orphanage and see the kids lowering a pig into a hole and see arms drag the pig down the pit. They make their way through and see the kids dragging their friend away. They catch up to them and try to help them out as the kids are about to throw him down the pit as well. Eventually the siblings get jumped and all three of them are thrown down the pit. The siblings are now tied together and have to find their way in this creepy broken area to find their friend. When they do finally find them, Bucket, yes, that is their name. They now have to make their way out to find the exit. The main creature looking around this area is a spider who has created the kids and that have been running around the area. She ends up catching and eating Bucket, so the siblings fight the mother to get Bucket back. They spear her and save Bucket and leave the building, only to see soldiers at the front. They see their other friends in the back of a truck and they all jump into the truck as it takes off. As it's driving, we see another vision of the lamb fully mutated and starting to climb up the walls. The truck ends up crashing and the kids hop off and starts heading off to the next and hopefully final location. Before going to the next location, they have to clear the way as a huge horse creature is blocking their path. They shoot it with a cannon and sail to the next location, but a whale body is blocking the path. They notice it's missing an eye and try to find a way to replace it. Hood, Bucket, and Bandage stay behind as the siblings make their way underwater to steal the supposedly dead horse's eye to give it to the whale. Upon retrieving it, the horse comes alive and begins chasing them down. They of course escape and send the horse back into the waters. They give the whale the eye and it begins to move and it reveals it too was a mutated creature with a snake-like body, but it never harms them, just disappears. They sail on till they reach a subway where they are forced to continue on foot. As they're walking, the girl is no longer a tummy ache survivor. As she starts, sorry. I make myself laugh sometimes. As she starts throwing up the lamb that we've been seeing throughout the game. Bucket and Hood run off and are then followed by now the mutated lamb. Her brother carries her on her back and Bandage follows them to the next room where you see Hood get eaten by the lamb. Bucket rejoins us as we keep following the lamb throughout a town that's having a war. We travel through the trenches where the kids witness soldiers committing themselves. The lamb finds them through a trench and starts following them into a building, where they struggle to shut the latch and Bucket gets eaten in the process, leaving the siblings and Bandage the last remaining. Bandage runs off on his own, now fully scared after seeing two of his friends get eaten. The siblings follow too, ending up in a hospital where more soldiers are trying to blow up the siblings using themselves and bombs. They finally catch up to Bandage, who sadly gets caught by the lamb and eaten as well. The siblings continue as they try to escape through the town and the lamb, and eventually get a hold of a tank, which they use to try to escape. The lamb now has many legs chasing them, forcing them to shoot the lamb to get rid of it. Eventually they crash and crushing the lamb, thinking it is dead. They exit the tank, only for the brother to get eaten by the lamb as it breaks out from the rubble, leaving only the girl. The lamb has now become more mutated and wiggly. It does end up eating the girl, and now inside the lamb, she tries to find her friends who are calling for her. We then see Bucket, Hood, Bandage, and her brother, the boy, in a circle, slicing their hands and pouring their blood into something. The girl makes it into a building where she finds a dead white rabbit. She then gets jumped by the other kids and is tied up to a sack being dragged by her brother. The kids then drag her body into the well and dumping her body in as lambs walking on two circle them. This is where the ending differs depending if you find all the coffins or not. If you didn't find all the coffins, like I didn't, then the girl will be laying alone at the bottom of the well and then start levitating and twitching, kind of like how the lamb in the vision did. If you did find the coffins, she'll still be at the bottom of the well laying there, but a bunch of other kids with white animal masks show up to see her and comfort her. Now, this game has many main characters, the 5 kids and many monsters you come across when going around. The boy, the main playable character, wearing a sack around his neck that drapes down over his body with a red square in the middle. He also has a rope, kind of like a noose, around his neck. He wears a long sleeve green shirt and gray pants with black or brown shoes. He carries around a lighter as his main light source and eventually uses a crowbar as his weapon. The girl, the next playable character, mainly played by whoever is your player 2, or just an NPC. She has long black hair and wears a white rabbit mask over her face. The ears are uneven and has one eye hole for her to see through. She only wears a white dress, but eventually it turns black towards the end of the game. She doesn't really wear any shoes, so she's walking around barefoot. She carries a lantern as her light source and uses a knife as her weapon of choice. Hood is the first friend you find and rescue. She wears a pointy brown sack over her head with an orange patch in the front, with little holes allowing her to see through. She also wears a brown oversized coat and gray mittens with brown rain boots. Bandage is the second friend you rescue. His whole face is covered with bandages that only shows patches of his hair and his ears being exposed. He wears a gray scarf and a red coat and brown mittens as well. He has shorts on, but also wears long red socks and black boots. Bucket is the last friend you find and rescue. He wears a metal pail bucket over his head, covering his face. He wears a brown patchy overall with a darker brown belt. He wears a green coat and black rain boots a bit over the overall legs. Not much is known about the 5 kids, but it can be clear that they did come from an orphanage of some sort, which explains why Hood feels uneasy to go inside the one that they reach. They do come across a handful of enemies in this area, like the Sniffer. He has a really oddly shaped head that's deformed and very pale. He wears a black fedora and his Sunday's best, a white collared shirt with a black suit and black pants. His body seems a bit dislocated and relies on his sense of smell to locate the kids whenever he knows they're around. The Pelican. The Pelican is a large deformed pelican with a huge dangling pouch. It's very aggressive towards the kids and attacks on sight. That's all. That's all we got for the Pelican. I'm sorry if you were hoping for more lore, but not even Fandom Wiki had lore for this guy. The mother is the main creature you fight in the orphanage. It's an 8-legged, fuzzy, no-headed spider-like creature. It only has a large hole in the front where the head should be, but is used as its main mouth source. It's able to summon the kids from its mouth and controlling them to feed her. Lastly is lamb, or is what I've been reading that people are calling it, sheep beast. But I'm gonna keep it as a lamb because it looks like a lamb to me. This is the one that we keep seeing throughout the game. It starts off as a regular lamb, but over time it starts changing itself into something different. As it eats the kids one by one, it starts to grow taller and grows more legs, almost like the mother, but when it finally eats the brother, it grows more legs, making it look like an octopus. I know there are other monsters that come after us, but I feel like these are more important in my opinion. This game does look like it was taken very good care of. The atmosphere is so eerie, making it a great horror game. There aren't many scary things to officially make it a horror game, in my opinion, but it does have creepy monsters to give it that title. The details in every area make each location have its own personality. There is a lot of background music, but a lot of times you'll hear a lot of the nature sounds in the world. When outside, you'll hear the ocean or the wind or the birds, but when you're inside a building, a lot of the music is played, giving it more life inside. Sometimes the music would only play when you first enter an area or when you see something crazy. The music overall does make this game feel a little bit interesting and make it scarier. My partner and I did experience a lot of glitches, but I think it was just us because when I watched other people play, they had such smooth gameplays. But I have seen a lot of people write reviews saying they had glitches as well. So it all depends how, and I don't know. There were times where I would get stuck in the ground or my partner would glitch when opening the door. I wish I had my partner record their gameplay at times because they would see bodies stretch across the screen and mess up what they can see. Sometimes we would die unexpectedly and would confuse us because we had no idea if it was supposed to happen or not. But we still kept going, and it wasn't really a common thing we really dealt with. Overall, this game is really amazing, and again, I wish it was what Little Nightmares 3 could have been. I enjoyed every moment of this game and how it has the same feeling as the Little Nightmares games, but it was also very different from them. The story was interesting, and it's also confusing. DLC is supposed to come out throughout the year, and I'm very excited to see what they'll be about. My partner has expressed how much they enjoyed playing this game more than the Little Nightmares game because they were able to fight back more and not have to constantly sneak around and wait. I do think it was worth the money and is a great game to play with a friend and explore and create theories on what happened and how things happened.